you know, that's actually one of the new questions is what is the non-GMO project? So while you're...
Yeah, the non-GMO project is that's this, there's a positive and a negative on that. The positive is that this project wants to actually help, as they say, drive GMOs off the market. And part of the way they want to do that is focus on natural and organic foods and say that the label, this non-GMO project, recognizes that, for example, that a lot of the corn and soy out there is engineered. So they would allow a contamination a certain level in a product before it is, and you can still have the non-GMO project label on it. And over time, those standards would ratchet down. So right now, if there's a non-GMO project label, that would mean that if there's any corn that was used in that product, that corn wouldn't contain more than, I think, 0.9% of engineered material in it. And if it's meat that comes from animals that have been fed grain, the feed that goes to those animals would be 1.5% they'll allow. So it's actually a standard that gets strict over time. Some people have complained that the reason that the downside of that is if you do that right now, there isn't a legal framework for liability out there. And some of the folks have tried to argue that the non-GE folks have tried to say, look, the presence of a genetically engineered trait is pollution. It's economic pollution because it makes our crops worth less money. And so therefore the liability should be on basically the biotech company who caused this pollution event. And they say that if you set a standard that says you'll allow 0.5% or 0.9%, that you've already, by saying you have that, you're setting a threshold, then that means you've already allowed up to that point. So they don't want there to be any project like that until such time as there's a legal, until a liability regime is in place. But the consumer response to that is look, the organic industry has known this since 1996, since the first products came on the market. They have not sued anybody. They haven't taken legal action. So if you're going to sit here and say we should wait until those laws are in place before, because there's a lot of organic products out there, and they'll say label, no GMOs, contains no GMOs. Were they tested to see whether they had that? No. And in fact, there have been companies that have gone out and bought a bunch of things that are in organic stores and tested them and have indeed found that there's engineered traces on them. So the non-GMO project would at least, those companies would at least agree that their inputs are being tested. That can't be said right now for the rest of them. But again, it's going to depend on the farmer. If you buy your food at a CSA or a farmer's market, you can talk to them and know. And so that's organic and local. That's still better, but that's not 100%. The only thing that can be done is get politically involved and, try to get laws in place that would require labeling. So there might be a chance for a law here in New York State, and I know other states are considering labeling laws. They might be on engineered animals or plants, but there are others that are considering